Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today, I figured I'd just showcase some of what I think are my favorite hats in TF2, both old and new. And as I am a heavy guy, we're going to start off with the Bunsen Brave right here. I don't know if it's just because of the unusual effect with it, but I think it flows rather nicely for one of the robotic cosmetics that got added. Like, as far as everything goes, and I know I have it painted deep commitment to purple, but like even the flames, they're non-invasive. Doesn't really give you away a whole lot, except for all the lights there. And we'll move. Another good one is the Starboard Crusader. I am a big anime nerd, so JoJo's has a special place in my heart in this hat. Very much one of my favorites. And then one of the newer hats that got added, the lumber cap. It fits with this lumber. It fits with the lumberjack loadout. Now, if only you could have it like the brown bomber, to where both of the sides got draped. That'd make it. I would think it would be even better. And then one of the older hats in the game, Modest Pile of Hat, I think is underutilized by a lot of people and overlooked, just because it's only a modest pile of hat. But now we will move. We'll go from left to right now, starting with the Scout. This might be giving away a little bit of a future video, but whatever. The Federal Casemaker is, I think, one of the top tier all class hats. Just it looks good with damn near everything that you can throw at it. And another good one is the Bottle Cap. This is my primary Scout loadout, not the weapons, but just the cosmetics. But I just think having the ability to switch from Criticola and Bonk, it gives it just that little bit of edge that a lot of other hats need. But another cool one that I do like for Scout is the classic backwards ball cap. I think it looks pretty alright. I know it's just kind of more bland and mundane, but as just a hat to go with anything you got, boom, right there. And then another good one is the Antarctic eyewear, giving you that little slick back hair look. Can create a flash loadout and all that other stuff, but it's pretty simple, just with the goggles up top and then the neatly dressed hair behind it. And if I can find it real quick, the Bonk helm. There it is. But to me, just like the classic throwback of the 90s, 80s, 90s sports fan with the double drinks attached to the hat with the straw. I've always enjoyed the look. Always kind of reminded me of back in the old days, if you will. Now we'll go to Soldier. Probably by far right now my favorite is the cranial cowl. And it just, to me, it just looks so good. But then we'll move to some of the older hats in my, older in my inventory. I I went on about this in the Soldier video about the neckwear headwear being such a very nice hat. There it is. The Climbing Commander, another good one. If you could use it, like if you could keep the underlay of the cranial cowl and use this with it, I think it would look amazing. but as it stands for both of them, you're not allowed, or there's too much confliction. The Shelmet, also another good one. This is one of my oldest cosmetics that I've got. But to me, just like having the shotgun shells and then, albeit whatever liquid might be inside that container with the cigarette, I think looks pretty cool. And then one of the other hats that I found, but is kind of is a lot older, is the original Worms hat, the Lumberchris lid, and it exchanges your grenades for the holy hand grenades from Worms. If anybody's ever played that, it is a very fun game. Gives you eyebrows like the worms have. There's a little worm on the side right there. But yeah, just very simple once again, but does so much. And then this was, I made the video of unbox after I popped this one out, but there's a lot of potential. Like I went into that detail, or a little bit more detail in that last video. There's a lot of potential for this to just be amazing. It just looks so good. And do soldier slope scopers. And I'll change that out eventually, but then I'm not the biggest fan on the freedom feathers, but it is a Halloween purpose. Now for pyro, I don't want to give a lot away, but the burning question is by far one of my favorite hats that you can use. Oops. And then the wandering wraith is another very good one that you can pick up. But then adding this little guy, the seared sorcerer, I think was great. Reminds me of old RPG mages from the Game Boy era. And then head full of hot air's pretty damn good. Gives you the old cosmonaut vibe. And then just the good all class hat is the tundra top. Like it just works for everybody without getting in anything's way. And then the bone dome, pretty good hat. Not my favorite per se, but I appreciate what it does quite a bit. And then I forgot. Here it is. Specifically painted either gray or white. I haven't seen black on it yet, but just it painted like this looks a lot better than the orange for the Brim of Fire. And I think, because I think the gray ties in more with the studs and then the little belt buckle esque flame on the centerpiece of the hat. And this was another one that I've kind of enjoyed since finding is the Blizzard Breather. Because there's just so much potential with this one that you can either go super snowy loadout, wasteland survivor, chemical worker, just a lot of different things that you can do. Man, I've never been like 100% on this, and I've never really looked at the styles. Oh, broken, that looks cool. That works very well for a Halloween loadout. But I will say, if I can find it real quick, there it is. I like my Hotline Miami just a little too much. And moving on to the demo, we'll go back to the first hat that I ever traded slash bought for. I forget if I bought it off the man, or if I bought it off the through Team Fortress or if I traded for it. But the Regulator, so good. One of my favorites. Then we'll move here to the Tartan Tyrolean. And it just, I like plaid personally. And this just fits the plaid loadout very well. Which I do believe I have the others. Oh, well, you guys already know how much I like the Spiky Viking and the Storm and Norman. It's sitting up here in the top. Nope, it disappeared. Rip. But the Black Watch, another good one for this that I like a lot, as well as the Glengarry bonnet. I know it seems like I just like all of the little. I can't even think of the name of those hats. Dang it! Like that. God bless it. Why can I not remember the name of those hats? But then the plaid lid or the plaid lap. I know it was meant to go with the Glasgow bankroll, but just on its own, I think it looks good. And I'll do this one now. The Sophisticated Smoker, I think, is another great shout of a cosmetic just for all the classes that can use it and just how good it looks overall with the cigar. And I forget if you can. Yeah, the cigar's part of it, but just the cigar, just the simple bowler hat that flows with the whatever cosmetics you can attach to it. It does something for me pretty well. And then do I trade it away? If I seen it, I would have said something. Oh, there it is. The tartan shade, I think, looks very cool. Doesn't really work with the bankroll, but this is just more about the hat. I think it just looks cool as a hood and gives you that mysterious vibe to whatever loadout you're going for. Now here we are to engineer. And new favorite or new one of has been the Dust Bowl Devil. I have been a rather big fan of this hat since it's came out. And where are you? The Lawn Maker. I do enjoy it quite well. It fits for the, as everybody always assumes, the engineer's the dad of the team for the most part. He's the one ushering them all into the truck to go to work and to make sure they all get there and get back, keeping them all in line. That just looks good for him. Good look. And then be hard miss to say that I didn't like the Texas 10-gallon, one of the traditional NG hats, and his first cowboy hat, I do believe. But then another one of my favorites has been the Provisions cap. I don't know what it is about it other than just like the dispenser vibe with it, but I think it looks phenomenal because it has that little cross between looking like, I know the lower res picture on the right kind, to me it makes it look like it's more of a um call it, knitted hat, but then when you actually see the bigger picture, well, it's rendered, but when it's rendered better, it just looks so clean. I forgot if I had something on some of these. And then the Tin 1000, I think's just kind of entertaining of a look. Just playing into that cybernetic, cyborg, android look, if you will. And just pretty fun way to style your character after. Now, if I seize it, I'll bring that other one up later. Oh, I can bring this one up now. I am a big fan of the Ellis hat. I know it's one of the first free items that you get in Team Fortress just for having Left 4 Dead 2 in your um, Steam library. I do believe that's how you obtain the hat. But to me, on any other class, it's all right. But NG, it just looks kind of like it's at home. Now we'll go to the medic. I always forget my medics. There it is, the Battle Bonnie. Booney, however you prefer to pronounce that, is one of the hats that I do enjoy from him. And then, if I have it right, it's been a while since I've done or looked at my medic loadouts. So I can't really tell you all that's up with that. Or all my hats that I like. The Berlin Brain Bowl, also a good look. Gives you a good combat medic look in my opinion. Then I suppose I can just do these here. The Bone Cone, I think, is one of the better wizard hats that have been added to the game, as well as the Alablamicon. I think looks pretty good. This one kind of gives me more Harry Potter sorting hat vibes, just with a little more menace. And then the Das Hazmatten Hatten, I think, is a pretty good look for trying to go crazy scientist slash chemical enthusiast. Nah, you know what? I should have probably brought this up with one of the others, but another Team Fortress hat, or another Left 4 Dead inspired Team Fortress hat, the Bills hat, just all around good. Completes a lot of loadouts and different looks for you. And now, I know it is not the most popular opinion, but I think the Mighty Meyer looks amazing. Just the Pope hat is all it is. And I think it just looks great. Reset that. And then we'll jump to Sniper. And we'll just start from here with the Anger. I know a lot of people give it credit because it's got the bad rap of being the tryhard's gun. But I just think it looks all right. Even like just on its own like that, it looks good. And then we'll go to my favorite, Old Snaggletooth. Just one of the OG hats for Sniper and completes the Killer Croc loadout. Then, as you all know from the Rambo video, I am a big fan of the Deep Cover Operative. I know you can use it on both Spy and Sniper, but I do think that it looks really good on Sniper. And then we'll jump over here to the Hawaiian Hunter. Easily been, I know I might be biased just because it was my first Strange Unusual that I unboxed with an effect that works with the hat very well. But that aside, it is kind of a killer hat because apart from being on vacation, he still stuck the spare bullets up there. Now I must say, Cold Killer does. It reminds me of, I do believe it was Snowcat from the original G.I. Joes. Kind of reminds me of that. But then the Hedgehead, I think, is also a good look if you have the right loadout to go with it. And then for Sniper, there is also. It's not really a hat, but where the heck did it go? Liquidator's lid. There it is. Let me get rid of the shades. But just having the liquidator's lid, I know it's kind of weird that the model doesn't get rid of the other glasses, but it gives you just that professional, possibly find you on the outskirts of town, rough and gruff type. But then also going back to Gators, the wild brim slouch, I think just looks good. It's got the claws or teeth up front. I'm not sure which they are specifically, but then just like all around, very crocodidly Dundee. Now let's see. I know I don't have one, but the Corona Australia's pretty damn good. Hard to beat it. I know it's, but then for my Halloween, I'll throw this on a loadout, make him look more hillbilly esque. But the Snaggletooth Stetson looks very good, just very simple for a holiday hat. Trying to remember if there's any more that I'm missing. If you have the right loadout, both of these hats are good, but not on my favorites list. And I know I might tick some people off by saying that the Where's Waldo hat's not on my list. So there's that. But yeah. And last but not least, we make our way to the Spy, where I have a rather unique loadout. The tipped lid, and then the Captain Spaceman, which to me, the Captain Spaceman is a helmet. Even if it doesn't, even if you can still interact with some of the other items in the helmet slot. Like here, I can put on the Cardboard King. But I picked the tipped lid because I think it's one of the cooler items added, considering it was added for charity. But yeah, look, there's a toadstool topper. It all interjects and all that. Or the strange. Ooh, that's kind of weird. That's kind of weird with all that glass mixing. We'll scoot over. There's a brown bomber. But the Voodoo Vizier, I think, looks rather cool. Just because the eyes always follow you. I can't really zoom in that well. But just if you follow it, you see the two little orange dots just as you're turning, always following you like paintings in Scooby Doo that have eyes. And then the newer item that got added, the cleaner's cap. Love this one. It looks beautiful. And by beautiful, I mean it looks like the Liquidator's lid, except updated for Spy. And I'm still at that point in time where I'm not sure how I feel about some hats. And this list could easily be amended next year to include a bunch of other hats that I didn't have time to get to. But one of the hats that I do use, as you can tell from me painting it, is the Nightmare Hunter. I'll throw this together and create a loadout with this for Halloween. And it usually looks pretty alright because there's enough that you can do to use that to give it something different and just change the loadout. But then another all class one that I missed was the Breadheads. I think it looks great. And the whole bread space or bread, I don't even know what the proper way to call it. Just like the history of the bread monsters in Team Fortress is entirely entertaining on its own. But my absolute all time favorite if you guys can guess, while I'm clicking through these, I want you to drop a comment down below guessing what you think is my favorite hat of all time in all of the Team Fortress 2. And while I finish this up, I would like to thank you all so much for freaking sticking around and coming to see another video. And I do hope you enjoyed. And if you enjoyed a whole heck of a lot, you should check out the subscribe button. And there's a like button next to it, and then there's also a button that takes you straight to my channel, where it'll show you all my other videos and different cosmetic videos I've done to date. But in terms of the best hat of all time, just kidding. Gibbous holds a place in everybody's heart. But I can't say that I have the best hat of all time unless you go this. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. There's really like no way to say what the best hat is because it's just subjective. But for me, I think one of Spy's better hats is the Hamburg. But if I had to go with a favorite overall, apart from my Bunsen Brave, oh, dang it, I thought I had it saved in a loadout. But as it stands, my dude, 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 the sophisticated smoker, I think, takes the cake for my most used hat out of all of them. Just I don't know if I think I just like the aesthetic that it puts off on its own without interacting with other cosmetics, so but unfortunately that is all the time I got for you guys in this one. I do hope you enjoyed. I know this one was a bit longer than my normal ones, but I really do hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.